Hello, I am Marsha Murray, your health and wellness, lifestyle, and mindset coach. Welcome home. Welcome back. Yesterday, I started talking a little bit more about who I am. So, we're going to stay on that same vein. So, today's focus is a continuation of kind of getting to know your coach. I talked about my belief that I'm a born again Christian, that I was born in New York to immigrant parents from Jamaica, and I am the first born American in my family. I talked about my education being in New York City from elementary school to junior high school and to high school. And then I went to Hampton University where I majored in English arts. And then I went into teaching through the pathway of Teach for America. And I also revealed that I taught first I did my student teaching in California. Then I went to Houston, Texas. And I went back to New York where the bulk of my teaching career was. And I came to Atlanta, where I currently live in the metro Atlanta area. And so that was the review. So when I was thinking about it, what I was going to continue with today, I said, I needed to go back and say these honorable mentions because I would be remiss if I didn't talk about some organizations and some things that I did that really helped shape who I am. And that also bleeds into my coaching. I was a part of an organization called Mind Builders. Shout out to Mind Builders and to Madaha Kenzie, who created and founded it back like in 1978, people. Oh my goodness. And today it is a landmark building. It's an institution in the Bronx, and it was a creative center. I was with it since its inception, where we started off in she rented space in a nursery, like a daycare center. And we would go on Saturdays and we had dance class. I did every dance, jazz, tap, ballet. Then I played piano. And so I have an artsy side, creative side. Some people might call me a little bit dramatic, but listen, that all was developed in Mind Builders. In fact, we might have several, but I know our claim to fame is Alamy Ballard. If anybody knows him, he actually is my sister's peer. He's a little younger than me, and he's done pieces. I think Queen Sugar and Queen of the South. And so he's our claim to fame from Mind Builders Creative Arts Center. Then I actually auditioned in high school because of that influence to the performance arts. So if you know the program Fame, I'm Gonna Live Forever. Yes, that school. I auditioned because I wanted to go to Fame, the school, to dance. And I actually got a call back because I actually really could dance. I got all the training from Mind Builders. However, I was not selected, and I believe large in part because I saw the other participants who were our candidates. I looked very different from them, and my body structure was very different. And so I did not get selected, but no shade. That wasn't the path I was supposed to be on. And then when I went to Hampton, I also was I was a thespian. So I was a part of their theater production, and I did a production called Medea. I remember that. And we also it was an upperclassman who I have seen him in various roles. The first role I saw him in was in Malcolm X. So why did I bring that up? Because this is all about meet your coach. Because I wanted to let you know and kind of connect the dots. Coaching, not only is it a science, it also is an art. And when I reflect back on my style and how relatable I am to my clients and to my students that I've had over the years in the classroom, it is not just about what I know, what I can do. It's about my being, how I show up. and that body of discipline, of training, bleeds in to what I do today. So I wanted to share that with you. So where are we in terms of review, in terms of new information? Um, I got, after I started basically started teaching and got married pretty quickly. I was married. I met my then husband in TFA. We met in California, but ironically, the both of us was from the Bronx. So I ended up coming back to the Bronx and teaching. We taught together in a program called the Camelot program, where we taught students who were they were labeled as at-risk students. And I taught English and remedial math to a group of students in that program. And he taught social studies, we called it back then, and math. And there was a third teacher who taught the sciences and some math. And as a result, our students, I worked in New York teaching probably about 10 years. And all of our students soared, did well. And so out of that union, that marriage, we have 3 amazing children who are my heartbeat. And they, quite frankly, have benefited tremendous from a mom who loves and still loves being a mom to them. And so they got the benefit of a teacher and later on in life, a coach. And I know they're grateful that I became a coach, because a teacher's hat and a coach's hat, while there are some similarities, there are vast differences. And I had to take off my teacher's hat when I became a coach. And I also, my children benefited from them, because as they got older, they exercised, and as human beings, we all want autonomy. And coaching, that's one of our principles. We honor the people we work with, the clients we work with, their autonomy. It's not about me telling you anything. It's about me eliciting and drawing out of you your motivation and finding out your values and your whys. And just, I love that process. And that is the exciting, curious part of coaching. That is not just the science, but it's also that flow, that dance, that energy. And so all of that comes tying together. So there we are with married, children. Along the line, I did start a master's program at Lehman College for a reading specialist from grades K through 12, and went on, didn't finish that, did everything, believe it or not, interestingly not, I did all of my coursework, everything. And I did my thesis. And I had a professor who just desecrated I felt at that time, he put all these red marks over my paper. And I never finished that program, even though I did all of the work up until completing my thesis. But again, all of my work and discipline, I carry it, and it makes me who I am today. And it just lets me also know where I should have gone, as opposed to where I thought I wanted to go. Moved from New York to Atlanta, and had various work experiences. Landed in a role which really, I believe, was the bedrock of me turning and shifting, becoming the coach that I am today. I had landed a role in a residential treatment center for women who were addicted to drugs and alcohol, and may have also some, it was called co-occurring disorders, some mental health issues as well. And that was a very pivotal um, position for me. I began start studying another, and I thought I was going to stay in the addiction camp, because I started training to be a certified alcohol and drug counselor. During that time, I also went and got a master's of public administration, because I really thought I was going to just stay in that, with that agency, and kind of develop in that agency. And then there was a pandemic that hit, that changed and rocked everybody's world. Because just around that time, I had been in that space working in a treatment center for about 6 years, had matriculated, became a manager, had a staff, and really had a lot of influence. And I knew that I really enjoyed impacting women in that way and helping to grow. And that's where a lot of the residents would ask me, because at that time I had become the manager and kind of running the house, and had residential advisors who did a lot of the life skills, and because I do have an administrative arm as well. But at that time, a lot of them gravitated and wanted me to be their therapist. And that pandemic happened. And so I'm going to pause there, because I am a woman of my word. And I said initially, I'm going to keep it around 12 minutes. And we are at the 12 minutes. So we will pick up where the next time we meet, where the coaching, how was it that I didn't stay in the recovery camp? And there was something that significant that happened, that allowed me to do a shift. And it really was a calling. It was, because it was a calling for me to do the work that I know I will do for the rest of my life, because it is a natural intersection. Hear me when I say, between my natural abilities, my acquired skills, and my spiritual giftings. And we will talk more the next time. And remember, lasting change often begins with just one decision, and sometimes just one coach.